It is 5:30 and this work session is live.
One of the,
I just wanted to let everyone know that Vice Chair Hopkins could not be with us for the work session, but she will be. So Dr. Danes.
great, thank you. So one of the tasks that one of the things we started to do last year with the work sessions is to have more of an informal time to work directly with our board. Very excited tonight as we spend time working on our shared goal together. Tonight, our area of emphasis, we're going to talk about planting student achievement in early literacy and math. And focusing on effective instruction, aligned curriculum, and timely support for learners in our elementary schools. That's a shared goal that our board superintendent shared goals this year is one of them. And so we're super excited tonight to have interactions with our elementary folks who are the ones leading this work and are excited to share this with you. So the plan is half the time you're going to be talking about more early literacy, and the other half the time you're going to focus on math. And so halfway through, we're going to ask you two to flip flop with you two. So thanks so much. Without further ado, we're going to jump right in. I'll be a little bit of the timekeeper and we'll participate and join you, but we're so glad that everyone's here tonight. Welcome back. Happy New Year.
First school background one before I to you a little bit about that. Sure. Instruction reproducible is I was elements of math drug specialist for a couple years. And then was as you know, we have a lot of for a large district in Florida. And one of the things that we always struggle with now is figuring out interventions and how literacy adoption. So just with on grade level math concepts, but some of those fundamentals where there's huge gap where learning it. Don't know in math, it's very much part of that foundation. You have to have the faith that learning around those concepts. Which so last year, when I overat chatting with the inside circle coach, once we got our literacy intervention side, so there were we found that there was a need for students that had have gaps in their integrity, and we had the teachers asking like, how are we going back? Really follow my schools were starting to fulfill these holes for the kids so that they had access. One of the things we're really excited about is so Kathy and I started talking through science hiding, and so that's a big made this happen. And really we're very fortunate that we have an start students, which is a larger loves math, are passionate about these and really understanding of those mathematical concepts, how they work, how they need to be broken down to be able to. And then from there, we help kids grasp the dimensions. So we have this solid core, work together to put together a program at one level of support. Try this. One of the things that we have these questions that this tends to be difficult is finding time. Some of those skills, this and how we change. Because again, usually when we're looking for these.
So in a lot of our grades, I really aligns with social studies and science, and we see that kind of mixture also in the HMA.
So
where
we
last year kind of allowed
universal bringers, they were just difficult and for math, so all of them together. Last year, we had two talking about those in high numbers, so we also trying to find a data informed way to
align together
from our basic words
that they
in a way that
science, so they
equitable and making sure each.
And a lot of our
teaching gave the
really
styles
to
to
make sure
all
that
of our stat
that
information last year.
that alignment is happening
From that grade
level,
level,
so
able
it's
to
not
find
just kindergarten,
students
but all the way
that
up to fifth.
were flagged
They're
in
working to
red,
make sure
showing that they were
students
several
have
grade
multiple
level to
opportunities to
efficient.
look at
And so then
learn
we
more
used,
about what
the
they're
universal
learning about
math
science,
skills
reading about it.
that comes with
We
forefront,
also
our
have
data
teachers that are
collection
working really hard to make
point.
sure that there's differentiated
and
literacy.
it's given
So
with a
if some
teacher and an
students at
individual student.
one level and
So
others
this is just an
another level,
example
they'll kind of have
that number screener. So from those
assignments
students
in
that
that
qualified in
activities
that red
their
category,
reading
we
level.
worked
We also have
backwards.
teachers that are
with
working
the
to create
students
kind of like
just going through grade level with grade level.
vocabulary
We found
words,
exactly
so
where
how
the last grade level of proficiency
so
was.
like
So,
yeah,
and for some of our kids that
vocabulary
is
is
very
and in pre-K, we have students that are
we're just
working
looking at,
on
okay, what are the
reading,
fundamentals? Do they
text,
know
but also writing.
place values,
and
do
just
they
really
know
preparing
understand
them
base
for their
10
next steps
basic
in their
addition,
K-12 transition. So that's been great.
So
Program
through this data collection
there.
we were able to create some cross grade level groups where there were students with common areas. And then we used this amazing way where it's to arrange her samples, make she was pulling students in small groups and based on their areas of need as identified by the member center. To go in and start
12 people that
just chipping away at their number sense understanding and really starting to rebuild their understanding of numbers. So we got going in the second, third grade, and then we also noticed that there was just a handful of fourth or fifth grade students that had this severe level of deficit. So we're actually able to form them into some of these groups and again start to plug these holes with those older kids. What was interesting that we found, especially with math, with our primary kids, is that most of the kids in those intervention
So they're
groups
spending
were students that were
really
really sure
intensive
were coming from other districts.
just training.
So that's kind of how we got this started, and then this year we're
They
able
will
to
be
see
seeing
the
the
process a little bit more
for
because we have maps.
days.
So we're able to use that as that original universe
3 to 5.
figure out evidence on the students were
What
taking
the
that.
skill is, but.
And then we took a lot of any of the students that fell below the 30th
And that
percentile.
doesn't change how much they
And
see
then
the
we
kids.
went through and
So if there's
administered
kids that is.
the bridges and versus
the next level.
similar to
But
this.
some are.
So
not
this year
doing
we
it.
had, in first grade, we had 3 students. In
They
second
are.
grade, we had
gradual release. So the
4
skill
students.
is very.
In third grade, we had 8 students, fourth grade, 8 students, in fifth grade, we had 5 students. All
And I was able to see a
qualified
lesson last week.
based on our
Instructional coach was just.
number 6 graders for these interventions.
excited.
So those are
See it.
the groups
So
that
this is what they
working,
looks
again, with our,
And they
these groups are flexible and fluid, so
And
if it's, if she's going through a lesson and the students need to have demonstrated some on that particular skill, she can fold them right back into the regular classroom setting and then see if there's students that might be showing a need to come back and get some refreshers, they can experience students out for that.
So this was
So
all just for.
one of the things we
that.
noticed is many of the students from last year's groups are no longer in need of the intervention support this year. So that was exciting to see. So for example,
We are doing.
when we gave this last year,
Hours happen,
2 of our
I get
students,
out to it.
one of them had
during,
scored
14
out of 30 on the screener, the other scored 17 out of 30.
30-minute.
And then after working with, through the intervention and the second half of the year, both students who are doing the math this year are above that 30%. And so just to follow up, so even the numbers that you see here,
So they're.
just to see are they retaining
But they're also
this so
using
that we can
cross
build on it.
observations.
And
A lot of kids.
one of the students scored, actually both of the students scored 26 out of 30, so they're not only filling those gaps out, but they're hanging on to it and now we're able to build on it. So just to bring some other points about how we're working through this is
Is the ratio holding or do you need more?
we're using,
Kids or are they on this?
this is part of our tier, you don't know yet.
They'll start next.
Okay.
With
And
kids.
so our tier 2
Um,
kiddos are getting the specialized instruction.
Okay, those are
So this might go quicker, those
can also be used to alleviate
quite as big of gaps to fill. And then sometimes if they're picking up on something late, that IA is able to provide parallel
So
support
this now will
on
allow
grade
you
level.
to both sense whether.
So we're seeing that a lot in the students in third grade groups, because last year they had gotten that intervention.
I'm excited to see the response.
So this year, some of the
Very
ones
interactive.
that we're now maybe that need that additional
Be more
support,
specific.
but also able to get support on
Like
grade level.
specifically
content.
for this
And
lesson.
then our students that are receiving tier 3 interventions, they can are participating in the interventions and we're just involved as monitoring those kids. So as I had mentioned before,
I know.
one of the things that we have
Well, and
noticed
these kids will be,
both last
most
year
of them
and
already
this year,
are,
a
but
lot of
they're
our
part of our
students that are
community.
receiving interventions,
So when we do every 6 weeks, we
to
need.
sure what is not
team meeting.
we're not sure what their instruction looked like prior to
Their
coming
growth
to
and
us.
this will be.
But this is
even though
also
they're in
a
an
really
this
valuable
so we
tool
have
for us
to
as
have
we
some
get into our FST meetings, where we look at students that are having academic struggles and next to eliminate instruction and, you know, their access to that instruction as, you know, something that we need to do for them before we can look into whether there might be a bigger deficit in.
Yeah.
As long as we have time, we're gonna take a couple minutes of.
Also,
Any questions or this, you have some.
yes.
Yeah, what about 2 minutes?
Oh, my goodness.
Switch.
Okay.
Oh,
I have 1 minute.
Okay. So tier one.
So we all looked at every source a little bit, so we like your husband specifically.
Tier
looked at
two
hours we
is,
did most of
a
the
small
time.
group
So we're
intervention,
avoiding,
and it's
um,
typically
much
focused
as
on one
possible.
particular
It's
skill
what
or series of
they can do
skills.
with the grant
and
is
maybe
this
doing
intervention.
a
So that
6 to 8 intervention in progress monitoring to see how
And so
it's
looking at
performing.
the time we can get.
Tier three is more
which we
intensive,
all
so
times
the groups are much smaller.
So these 3, 4, 8, 8, 5, tier 3.
There's a little
Yes.
bit of. planning
They
time
would
together.
do many
that and
To
they
discuss
will-
below.
Yeah.
The tier 2 might be like.
Yeah.
So it's like these
Yeah.
subtractions.
Yeah.
This morning it was really fun
Ryan
to be here and I'm trying to tell them excited to be here.
You read this, and I'm several are.
Okay, well, just you go ahead. Okay, so one of the biggest barriers that we have with the intervention is the resources to do. So we're using our curriculum languages, they just have intervention in that. But sometimes it's not quite enough
We're tired.
for what the kids do.
Yeah.
So it makes us a little bit harder to as to understand it or not.
I
And
wish
she's
I would
able
have.
to try to supplement that, just her own understanding.
It's also work on
So she's
hard.
filling the
gap.
filling.
Oh, I.
But not only about this. together,
Yes, but I would
take
take
care so. About that you're watching them compare these prices for this, if they spend huge hours.
And make those
Does.
and don't. I was just a foundation, but I'm still straight, but knowing that, and it's coming in, it's on Wednesday, I'm taking this testing help. I reached out to teacher and now for some publishers and she wasn't and studied this and kind of coach them up on the why and you know.
To just start
kind of what we do, starting for you.
This is really exciting.
Yeah.
Because as far as numbers.
I was gonna say for staff, because we last out at our last board meeting, we were talking about this.
Yeah.
They were, this is a great example of how hard they work together, and Amy didn't go off to work, there was there's a lot of coordination that they did to make sure it works right. And I'm excited to see that fruition. So that's super exciting.
Sure.
So I did.
I was always just
It's here they can just off straight and it feels so different. Shit. See, it's very scientific, the language is precise, they have clear strategies that they see. It's just so different.
It's like that's why they're really exciting, and so if it's $7 or 7 now, it's more than you're gonna see, I don't know, but it's. So I used it in this data, like, oh, yes, yeah. So that's why I was like, we get a free trial,
the
but.
last thing I'd like to
He
share,
basically
we
is
already
one
know,
last
I
time
think,
we learned
you already know this,
once.
things that like to, you know, it's pretty cool, you need to come say, you are be a part,
Gonna test it.
you know. Not, and not just kind
Well,
of,
the
I mean,
truth
we're talking.
is so many people
Folks on literacy,
who
so
grow
we're gonna
this.
have an opportunity to each of our ventures.
Yeah, a lot of us tell you that.
Genetics,
They like
we love being in
so we're really
schools,
trying to
so
build
we're gonna
down
be
some of the
in touch.
barriers
They love
that
having you there.
ourselves. Like, that's why we're so lucky to have some, because she has a.
All right.
Good understanding.
So the time goes quickly, you don't remember, but let's have you two come on over and.
Thanks, Matt, thanks for
Thank you.
We have to.
Just fine.
There's.
So that's.
Is there any music in there? For values. Are you music in there?
I don't know, not that a secret.
Well, I think I just want.
Yeah, no, not you, Matt.
Yeah, and like. It goes from cheap. Yeah. It's easy to be flat. No, I know.
She'll message you.
All right. Alright, we have about 12 minutes to rock and roll. Yeah, listen. Yeah.
Why not? It's a long night.
So,
Well,
just a little
uh,
my
yeah,
background is,
that's
right, you're surely one of my
that are considered to see especially
that, and then I.
you're all you're aware of this that
Coordinator
our
for large sites. So in addition to the other things, that cities, interventions and programs were those things that we wanted to do some programs.
So
Really was very good. Working for it,
no
no
time
time good.
providing training and
Organize it,
more about finding as well as
these intervention groups. Conferences, and it was just the time for our teachers and our students. So this has been a
really excited to
ongoing
share
conversation. So those teachers, so last year, into Archer, we had a situation
skills.
was we got to
start
start running at our literacy groups of grades and going,
what
we have first grade level to the larger size, and so we're trying to then about,
what is that
all the
like?
teachers were at some
Has a gap in that.
so we're trying to come up with an equitable way to distribute our items. So,
We are providing explicit
Instructional
guidance,
coach
instructional clinics and word study,
Springer,
using
that was like free for our literacy similar to digital, but
she does like
our
that.
So we took that, we administered that, all of our second grade students, all our third grade students, just to determine.
Spelling for the younger grades goes through that.
So,
grammar piece,
through that,
teachers.
we were also
the addition of
fortunate to
kind of
kind of
looking
be
for
for
a
a situation where we have the made and that is passionate about, she's very gifted in understanding.
Working hard to just
So,
for our need, especially
and,
these
she has that really.
and then we're just getting grades 4 and 5 to make sure that as
Sometimes
these
hard to come by, but sometimes not a lot of grown-ups feel excited about math.
Today,
So we kind of just.
talk about those next
Three
pieces.
of us only. I thought that we were going to.
So many of our grades are, so.
Once we utilize that screener to screen
Agreement
this
with
having
having
the speech.
And that really allows for a teacher
in the rest
to focus on what
efficiency.
science and aligning with what
Then
each
we
teaches
just
does.
a number
Ours
of
did a
sense
healthy eating unit, and so they focused on what are we learning in
and
science
this
so that they then continue that.
Was administered one on
Literacy
one, those speech that what I read.
during that
And it
time.
really gave us.
And then our teachers
An
are
understanding
understanding that
of
there's
where
lots of
students work.
differentiation happening.
And so we started with
this
their
level,
on
the
grade
grade
level
level
conversation,
conversation.
and then we just.
Reading that
backwards
another
into
student
not
at a different
exactly
level is
last
getting.
grade level.
They're also working
demonstrating
to create
proficiency.
opportunities for students
Most
to
of the
practice
kiddos
those
that we have
vocabulary
marked
skills out
we
in
were
the
looking at
wild, so.
two levels below grade level.
And they find that
we can know numbers and
celebrate
skill.
they saw
Vocabulary
vocabulary from their
skills.
classroom in the halls or
So
out at home or in the grocery
using
store. or
these screeners, we
something.
then were able to create some cross grade level.
We also
areas
had
of need.
had a
And
great
then we
time
were able
in
to
pre-K,
create
so our
some
pre-K students are learning those
still struggling
foundational
with
skills. Some of them are working on
first,
writing their
second,
names or
numbers,
recognizing letters, or
skills.
others might be picking
And
up the book to kind of
we
point out
created
words that
some
they
small
know.
groups
So
and
having that
brought them into
opportunity
the fold
for
as well.
pre-K to
Now, one thing that was
build
interesting
those
especially about those
boundaries,
fourth and fifth
literacy
graders is
is wonderful.
that most of them
help
were
those
new
kids have to be up as
sure, they were
forward.
students that were coming from a variety of backgrounds, so I'm interested.
So we know that some kids are gonna need some extra support.
So as we started
So
working through this process,
continue and have
we started to
those
see some of
screeners,
these
and
kids
when we look at them,
starting to
we'll
send
see
the
that other classroom.
plug those gaps
to
so that
determine
they were
where
able
kids
to
are at.
access the grade level.
And then we see that helps we build this intervention,
So
slot kids into
this year, because we now have the map standards, we didn't have
the high
to
dosage.
give that
rate
universal
is from
screener and we're able to
large.
look at map standard for the whole.
With large grants comes a lot.
So we drew down
Level, and that
fell
has
below
been
the 30th
we're
percentile.
excited about.
And then administer
Our
the numbers that are screened to those students, which then helped us to eliminate some of those kids that have fallen
that
below
were
the
hired
30th percentile.
specifically for
And it
this.
left
So
us
with
with
the
numbers
grant,
of
that
first
is
grade, we
what
had
they
8
can
grade,
do, so they'll.
second
that's
grade, we
work
have
3 to
4,
4 hours a day.
third grade,
They
we have 8,
4 hours a day in school, age
fourth grade, we have 8,
service
fifth grade,
kids
we have
in
5
these intervention
students.
groups, so they can't do access lunch duties.
1 to 2 grade levels below that number. So
That we are
I say
using.
third grade is
using
different
grant, using
because
them,
they were part of our pilot
We are
last
using
year.
one that is free,
And
it
so
was a
those
Portland
kids,
Public
they're
and
not-
you
they
collaboration.
still create strong
And so
basic skills.
we are
So
spending
when
a
they
lot of
look for
grant
intervention,
funds on.
they're doing a little work in basic skills just to continue to bolster that.
Instructional
And
aids instead
then
of
our
buying.
interventionist is able to then provide some support.
So our ICs are working on that.
Struggling
And
math
then
students,
next
but at
week,
least
we're
we know
working
that they
small
have
steps.
station.
They have about 3 kids, no more.
So
than 3
these groups that we created this
A lot
year,
of these kids are,
flexible and
this will be a double dose for them,
so
already
if
they're
there's a
getting their
particular
care plans,
concept
which is what
that
they
a
talk about.
student that
They're
didn't
getting
qualify
second intervention.
might be struggling
and this will be another dose
add
of
them in.
that.
We can move someone out of
after
their strength and
So
continue
I have a lesson here, I was able to watch our
to let those groups
teach
have
other
it as needed.
the lessons.
One of the things that we did notice was
Build
many
on
of the
one another
students that
and
were
work
in those
through
groups last year,
sessions.
no longer in
So
those
students
current
you working like
year.
this was
So
the S
that was
H
an exciting
diagram.
affirmation of the work that they did last year. So
So
for example,
and
we
it
had
builds
2
that
third
rational
graders
base, so it's
last year
teacher
that were in
directed
the intervention
intervention.
groups.
But then with this lesson, you
When
can
they
see
were
how
on
really
doing the
farm where
nonsense
they were
prayer,
making
most were 15
sounds
out of 30.
and they were
And the others were
reading
7 out of
words
30.
and then they were reading the words in context.
After working
They
in
wanted
the
to not
intervention
read
groups, so the
the
second
context,
half of
it's a
the
much
year,
more built
the
words.
students were both
Segmenting
above the
words.
30%
And I
of
don't
them
know what
on maps.
So that would be
And
how you said.
Then we
This is
just
one
like
session,
this,
1 30-minute session.
Still,
Yeah.
are still kind of.
And then it's a quick taste.
Still on it,
There
and
you go.
both students were 6 out of 30, and the little mistakes that they made were.
And 3 kids.
Oh, that's this,
And we'll continue to monitor their data.
So,
Within our multi-tiered systems.
So we have students.
And we'll continue to do that every
Tier
year
2.
And so just like any
Again,
intervention that we
because some of the
provide,
kids I've
we're
been to
constantly
third grade
progress
are getting
monitoring
a
our
little bit of
kids,
support
tracking their
on
data,
basic skills,
tracking
but
their
also
growth
in
and people school teams. And
And we're also
so
using it
we'll
as
be
a
really
tier
excited to
3
see
for
after,
those students
you know,
that
most
need
of the
that
kids
small
of those
group, more intensive in their
what
development
kind of growth we
progress
see from
monitoring.
those.
This also helps us to really populate into those things where, you know, students well just isn't progressing academically, and try to eliminate instruction as one of their, there's no other program instructions, starting to get the engine. So it helps us to identify, maybe there's something else in the environment to think space to it's possible testing.
So you could have multi-age. Depending on the level.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what that line.
Yes.
I think so.
One of our schools that I mentioned at the beginning was experiential second intervention. So we are using the intervention piece.
I
that
target
comes with
the
ranges.
same grade.
However,
Better for the
Some kids need more than what.
Yeah,
I was just thinking.
So,
for.
Again, we're blessed with an IA that has that understanding and she can develop lessons catered to what.
Yeah, their first grade, so you could be like.
Now, third grade is
True,
the.
we have is what we would have announced that our third graders stay within third grade program. Scheduling wise.
Probably one.
A few national hunters.
Okay, yeah. So they would keep coming.
Yes.
Right.
Is it here?
More speaking. Let's go.
And I think the practice game.
The grant is shaped really that doesn't, it's like you need from that. They're amazing, I can say. Instructional
Yeah.
assistant
Correct.
and she's an assistant supporting arguably can do that. Well, I was
Yes,
just gonna say, at one of our grade levels providing this instructor has list to. I'm starting at a grade now, so after everyone, and MIA may have some additional time to have some access to it. So it will benefit our program students in a different way, not particularly with this program.
We, the soccer center is down, and it's been fun, it's been fun. It's an extension. It's like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about.
It's a mix.
Exactly, stuff like that. One question. With diversity.
In my previous district, we purchased.
So one thing that I hear about a lot when I ask about being in school is and sometimes not.
Pictures.
Do we, what is our, I don't really have a question, more just, that is always kind of a spot for me when I think about what's going on. It's like, do we think about the minutes of like
You just get them to do.
Yeah, so with the curriculum, they have access to share grade level text and data. And so teachers will sometimes use that text to read multiple times, they'll read through portions of it. It depends on what the skill is, what and how much they want to read. Students have access to share grade level text. So what it will look like in a lot of classrooms is there might be 10 or 15 minutes of the read block where they're then going out independently in a text.
So we're gonna be testing.
Epic is different depending on classroom, depending on teacher, depending on students.
Literally a start.
And it is a little bit, I didn't have an answer to ask about this, but it is always interesting.
Yeah, I'm
To
excited. I loved
hear
it.
at the elementary level, just how much
This
difference
is
there is in
a lot of resources for extension.
materials and
It's just a lot,
I-
just free. Yes.
I wonder, as we think about like making sure that we're special, this
Which is great.
that's another
Is.
area of question.
So that's what we have discussed when we first started passing, we were often reading it on a nonfiction topic, and that they got the instance on topic and but it's also nonfiction and kind of do their own work around, what does it look like to find information out. So some of that convenience of having multiple text edits digitally is really benefit, depending on what the lesson, is looking like or how
Well,
the
the
teacher.
cool thing about
Really
Real Life
totally understand right that balance of
Is activities are accessible to all of that, so even the things that Tal was mentioning, like examples, that, that it's.
I think that's
basic
why teachers
for
can
all
give
students,
students access
success,
to
but
topics
we can
or
take
genres that they may not have.
so far beyond to.
I know for a lot of our families, they can listen to the story read aloud, and so putting them in a paper book is much more beneficial because they're listening to it.
I'm so, like, I got chilled, I'm so
So
excited.
have to read also, so like for students, they want to start to see where we're getting tracking or maybe
It could
not
be a
practice things.
it could be a-
And
and it's fun.
But it's been an ongoing, regardless of just how to support kids and.
All right, we're gonna wrap up.
And it's, no, and I get that,
Yeah.
that is a great.
Thank you.
Tool, but just also to make sure.
Yeah.
So, the one,
Not just listen.
I'm so sorry, it's always a pleasure to get these conversations going, it's always hard to, we could probably be here for several hours. And principals, thank you for the time, energy, and most importantly, what you're doing. Making a difference for kids, making a difference for achievement and for wanting, for kids and staff to want to be there, so thank you for that. Board, you get an exciting part later in the month, have an opportunity to go visit with us and go into these classrooms and see these spaces. We're gonna focus this month on early literacy and math. Is what we talked about, it's a shared goal, so you'll get a chance to get into those rooms, which we're excited about, and into those spaces, so thank you. Now for the transition, you